I mean, I really get that, because there's a sense of when you're feeling this vacuum, this chilly loneliness inside, and you see other people kind of cheery, maybe this is someone you're grieving that they're not feeling so much for, or the way that they grieve is different. They're not showing it to you. I think what's important is that you allow and name your loneliness to yourself, and you recognize where you feel it in your body, so that you have a kind of emotional connection to it, and turn to that sense of loneliness with warmth and self-compassion, so that you can, often people feel it in their chest or in their stomach. And so move your attention internally and move it around your body until you find the place that you feel really lonely. And I know this sounds a bit woo-woo, but there's Gendlin, was called focusing, Eugene Gendlin, and let the loneliness speak to you, because often we try and kind of mask it. But if you can let it speak to you and tell you what it's feeling, and then it can also say to you what it needs, so you can respond to it and it can have its need met. Emotions are transmitters of information, and so if you allow that emotion to be expressed and voiced within you, it will then, often it dissipates, it lessens. But also to allow, in the idea of the dual process, the kind of most common, the theory of grief that I find most helpful is this oscillation between loss orientation, where you're connecting to the loneliness, you feel it, you name it, and restoration orientation, where you get on with life, you have hope for the future, you have a break from the pain. That you can create time and space within yourself to allow for both, the movement between the two. So if before you're joining a whole lot of people, you give yourself the 5 minutes of connecting to your loneliness, you give yourself a kind of warmth, like, this is really tough. And then you give yourself permission to have a break from it. Go and do something that feels a bit kind of like switching to a different version of yourself, not shoving that other one away, but holding that in its safe, quiet space that had a bit of support. You can go back to it, and then go and get yourself a glass of water or drink and join your family and stay with them while it still feels comfortable. And you may not be able to do that for very long, half an hour, 15 minutes, and then go back again. And that is a way that oscillation and the moving in and the moving out meets you where you're at, which is what is really important in this, and supports you to have both, because you need that friends and family, but you also need to acknowledge and allow the loneliness that you feel internally.